What passed off in Lod? The Israel-Palestinian struggle explained. In current days, Israeli Arabs have staged protests in sympathy with Palestinians in Jerusalem and Gaza. Israel Palestinians, old grievances gas new fighting. During protests on Monday in Lod, 0.33 of whose populace is Arab, an Arab resident in his 30s, Musa Hassouna, used to be shot lifeless, and some other character critically injured. Haaretz referred to a Jewish resident as pronouncing an Arab crowd tried to smash into the neighborhood, and that his neighbors were pressured to shoot in the air due to the fact they felt in danger. Mr. Hassouna's father stated his son had no longer long passed to protest, and that he had been passing through the vicinity when they shot him at point blank. Police arrested 3 suspects, who stated they had acted in self-defense. Hundreds attended Mr. Hassouna's funeral on Tuesday. Clashes quickly broke out with the police, with Israeli media reporting that 2 officers had been injured and a police auto used to be set on fire. Who are the Israeli Arabs? In total, about 21% of Israel's populace are Israeli Arabs, about 1.96 million people, in accordance to a December file with the aid of Israel's Central Bureau of Statistics. During the struggle that surrounded the introduction of the State of Israel in 1948, lots of heaps of Arabs had been pressured from or fled their homes. Those who stayed in what grew to be Israel, and their descendants, have been granted citizenship and are recognized as Israeli Arabs. About 80% of Israeli Arabs are Muslim, with the relaxation figuring out as both Christian or Druze. Most become aware of strongly with Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank, with many calling themselves Palestinian residents of Israel. Israel's authorities says its Arab residents have equal social and political rights, though they are exempt from obligatory Navy service. But Israeli Arabs themselves say they are dealt with as second-class residents who face legal, institutional and social discrimination. Authorities in Lod constructed a 3m high, 10 feet, wall via a section of the city in 2010, isolating the Jewish and Arab communities. Officials stated it used to be to limit crime, however Israeli Arabs stated it was once and strive at imposing segregation. Civil warfare has damaged out in Lod. That is how Mayor Yair Revivo described the scenario after violence exploded in the combined Arab-Jewish-Israeli town, Mendacity, 15 kilometers, 9 miles, southeast of Tel Aviv. Protests by using Israeli Arabs in the city became into full-scale riots on Tuesday night. Demonstrators clashed with police and set vehicles and constructions ablaze, the day after a funeral for a man allegedly shot lifeless by means of Jewish residents. This is an entire loss of control, Mr. Revivo instructed Israel's Channel 12 News. Synagogues are being burned. Hundreds of automobiles set alight. The state of affairs is incendiary. Violence additionally flared in different cities with good-sized Arab populations along with neighboring Ramel, Acre, Jaffa, Jizr el-Zarqa and el-Fam. Police arrested 270 people. The sight of the pogrom in Lod and the disturbances throughout the Ussaba by way of an incited and bloodthirsty Arab mob, injuring people, adverse property, and even attacking sacred Jewish areas is unforgivable, President Reuven Rivlin stated on Wednesday. He added, "The silence of the Arab management about these disturbances is shameful, giving aid to terrorism and rioting and encouraging the rupture of the society in which we stay, and in which we will proceed to stay as soon as all this has passed." A wide variety of Israeli Arab politicians have known as for and stop to the rioting. protests in Arab society are shifting in a very unsafe direction, as famous protests have escalated into violence. Ram birthday celebration chief Mansour Abbas used to be quoted as announcing in Haaretz newspaper on Wednesday, "I name on absolutely everyone to behave responsibly and to adhere to the rule of law." The unrest follows days of excessive tensions in Jerusalem, with clashes between Israeli police and Palestinians at a key holy site, and escalating combat between Palestinian militants in the Gaza Strip and the Israeli Navy, considering that Monday nighttime that have left extra than 50 humans dead.